Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where last time we started investigating any signs relating to the Black Rider, and I found this man right over here who seems to be having some trouble. Hello?
Something has made the Gredbig here more aggressive than they used to be.
You defeated some of the Gredbig before we went to the Brownlands. Did you notice anything unusual about them? Well, I have. On my way back from the carcass of the beast, I was set upon by a group of Gredbig. I fought them off, but I noticed something peculiar. As they lay twitching beneath my sword strokes, their blood seemed to boil like water over a roaring flame. Is this the cause of their newfound aggression? I want you to defeat Gredbig and collect samples of their blood. See if the blood boils and bubbles. Oh, what could have caused this? Well, now, let us verify this bit about the bugs. That's not a Gredbig, that's a Kundalar. Well, the Easterlings can also be a thorn in our side. There we go. Now, let us find the insect type of bugs. And how about that looks like a turtle. Yeah, it just says Gredbig. It doesn't say anything about turtles or Avank. Well, the Avank is in the way. I shall search. I shall find. I shall persevere. Ah, I hear chittering of chitinous creatures over here. Now let's see if we can do anything about them. See if they have any boiling blood. The Grodbach blood is boiling hot to the touch. Ooh. Well, it appears then that there is something wrong with the blood of these creatures. You have discovered the clutch ground. The clutch ground. Sounds more like an area for either the Avank or the turtles than it is for the Gredbig. But there's a Grodbach worker right over there. Alright, no comments about that one. So let us continue on our way. And we shall find everything here except the insects, it sounds like. I'm pretty sure that once I have all my samples, I will be assailed by an entire nest of them. Ah, here's one there. There's also a turtle here, apparently. Now, let's take care of this insect. Hello? Do you have boiling blood? The Grodbach blood bubbles, but it's no longer boiling. Okay, so now it's a little bit of bubbly, but not ultra hot. Now, what's causing it to bubble then if it's not boiling? Well, I've got no idea. Oh. There we go. Alright, and that is four samples complete. I'll see if I can find two more. Aha! Here's another one. Number 5. The Grodbach blood is cool to the touch. Interesting. Now, is this being cooled over time? Or is it by location? Well, one more sample and I think I'll report. There we go. Well, let's bring the samples back to Edbreed. Here are the samples you requested.
Interesting. Seems that whatever causes blood to boil has moved on.
What type of creature could have this effect on the Gredbig? Whatever it may be, its presence alone was enough to make the blood of the Gredbig to roil and bubble. And then, when it moved on, the blood gradually ceased to boil. What evil is this? This mere presence can enrage creatures of nature. Well, I'm not going to tell him. I can think of one creature. A Nazgul. Hello there, Cheridich. I was wondering if you noticed anything unusual over here.
After you left, I went searching on my own, and, well...
Cheridich is having some trouble meeting your eyes. I'm not a coward, Pinelore. I have stood unblinking before a shrieking mess of goblins, and not given way before a charging warband of Kundalar Easterlings. And I have even stood my ground when my wife was in one of her tempers. Well, mostly stood my ground. But at certain sites in the battlefield, my courage was quite drained away. Maybe it was one with those apparitions that are all around them. I felt uneasy, and everything seemed to get cold. Will you go to some of these sites? I'll mark them on your map. Look at the rubble of a crumbling corner in Ostcelebrant, a grassy ledge overlooking the fast-flowing river, and by one of the stone bridges over the river. I want to know what is happening out there. I am ashamed that I have felt that way. There must be a reason. Alright, find the debris by the crumbling corner, the debris in the grassy plains, and the debris in the stone bridge. First, let's check for the one that's over the bridge and see if we can find anything interesting over here. Other than a bunch of ruins, of course. And then I believe the other two are inside the ruins themselves. Well, it looks like that we are heading towards Rohan proper. Here's one of the locations. You feel nothing unusual by the bridge. Your prey did not travel this way. Well, what about into that city? It looks like sort of the type of place that a shadow will decide to descend. Now let's see what's up this bridge. You have discovered Ostcelebrant. Okay. And we have shades. That's what we have here. Well, that sounds like something that could be brought on by a Nazgul. Well, let us deal with them swiftly and then find the proper marked location. All through here. No, you're not getting away. Oh, that's not a shade. That's a brigand. What are the... Oops. Hey. After it. Is the brigand working for them? Well... perhaps so. Now... anything over here? Ooh, a copper. That could be useful. Ah, there's the location. Let's see if there's anything here. Loose stones crunch underfoot, but you don't feel anything out of the ordinary. Okay. Deeper into the town and find that. How is it described? The grassy place overlooking the fast flowing river. And of course, going through the ghostly leaders. I believe the grassy area is up this way, near all these brigands apparently. Ah, there's something right over there. I think they need to just change the description. I know they made it easier in this location, but I'm sorry, this is not a grassy place overlooking the fast-flowing river. The old location was much more fitting the description. The river rushes past far beneath you, but you feel nothing out of the ordinary. Well, back to Cherdrich. I have returned.
Did you experience anything strange while you explored the sites?
Interesting. It was not all in my head then? Good. Thank you for setting my mind at ease. Whatever it was that instilled me with such uncommon fear may have moved on, but it's good to see that it still has an effect on the sights. I knew that I was no coward. Alas, I know exactly what probably caused that one. Nazgul. Now let's see if anybody in the vicinity of Stangard has noticed anything unusual. Oh, it looks like he has a little bit of an incident. Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. I cannot seem to clear my head.
Where am I? I saw something and then his thing tries to focus on your face. He finally manages it and then takes a deep breath. It was dark and I couldn't see far into the night. But I saw a figure in the darkness. I thought it was one of my men returned from a patrol of the Aerolingas. But then it rather hissed at me. I approached and demanded what the stranger identify himself. But then everything went black. I fell down, and only now have I come back to my senses. The shape came from the northwest, I think atop the rising steps. You can look for it there if you like. I'll stay here. I'm still not quite right, my friend. Well, it appears that the Black Rider was in this area. Let's go and identify the areas to find out if anything unusual has happened up here. Well, there's a worm here, but I suspect he's not talking about the worms. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't talking about the worms. A booted footprint in the mud here may mark the presence of the hissing figure. The footprint is of a heavily mailed boot, clearly wearing... Alright, so... wearing a mailed boot. Well, let's go and report our findings. As soon as we deal with one of the local worms. I found a boot print.
You found a booted footprint? I wonder what it means.
Can you tell who it is that attacked me? Well, maybe I better not, because I have a strong feeling I know who wore that boot. A Nazgul. Ah, here's another person that seems to be in need of help.
I have always prided myself on courage. But last night...
I should not be out here. I wanted to be a farmer, but my father said that I should follow my older brothers well, here I am. And last night, well, I can't explain it. Something spooked the goats, and I climbed up the ridge to investigate, and that's when I heard it. Something was... how can I describe it? It was a sniffing sound, like someone with a cold, but there was something about that snuffling that made my blood run cold, and as I approached the milling goats, I saw that it was not the only one disturbed by the sound. The eyes of the goats were wild, and they stamped the ground, desperate to get away from something. Something moved amongst them, low to the ground. It made no sound but that sniffling, as if it were smelling for something. I ran and ran and ran, and feel in my heart had only now just calmed itself. If you decide to visit the goats in the enclosures to the north and to the southwest, use caution. That thing might come back. Well, so far the record is that it hasn't, but I suppose we should go and look for this sniffling snuffler or whatever it is. Well, I doubt that's the sniffling snuffler. That's most definitely an orc. Now, the orc could be just as dangerous to the goats as any sniffling... well, looks like the goats are calm enough. You see nothing unusual whatsoever. So whatever it was must be gone now. There you go. So now, let's try the other direction. I see the statue up ahead. Ah, here's the other goat pen. You see nothing unusual whatsoever. Okay, everything seems to be fine at the goat pens then. I found nothing unusual at the goat pens.
I suppose I may have imagined it.
You didn't see anything there? Just goats? Ah, yes, but I know what he saw last night. He saw a Nazgul. He is slowly becoming calm, but is still shaken by the experience. I am not cut out for this sort of thing, Pine Lore. My brothers are bold and courageous, and would certainly not have been frightened. And my sister, she is a handmaiden of the Golden Hall, an Edoras, and she would have marched right up to that, whatever it was, and given it a tongue lashing that would not forget. Well, not like me. Ah, well, I am the one who's here. I am doing my best. I hope my father and brothers and sister are proud, or will be. Think again, my friend. Well, I'd say that there are many others who claim to be a lot bolder, who are also equally frightened by that. I think I should be heading back soon. Just patrolling the river now, on my way back. Ah, you're someone who may need some help. Hello there.
I saw something on the shore, but when I approached it fled.
It was dark as pitch, and the cold watches of the night, and I walked the shore of the Anduin. I thought I saw... no, I did see a darker patch of shadow in the space between the trees. When I approached, it fled. It moved with a lurching step, sliding low upon the ground, but it moved quickly, and for some reason I can't explain, I was loath to close the distance. I lost it in the dark. But I know the name of this apparition. Ithmar looks from side to side and then speaks in a voice barely above a whisper. Its name is Nazgul. Bring word to Frimloth of Halrith that one of those fell creatures is loose somewhere in Thinglad. Well, I shall make a report. Well, at least someone knew what it was. I have word from one of your scouts.
Are you sure? A Nazgul?
Female stares off into the distance for a time, deep in thought. Then she shakes her head and turns back to you. This is disturbing news, Pinelore, but I believe a single one of the 9 cannot endanger Lothlorien, not while Lady Galadriel retains her power. And she does. And you need not worry about that account. All of the 9 together would pose a more serious threat, but Our Lady still governs, and her power still keeps the borders of Lothlorien safe. Thank you for these tidings from Linthir, but it seems to me that this Nazgul poses more danger to the men south of here than to the elves north of here, in the Golden Wood. Well then, I think we've scouted the area well enough and seen several signs of this Nazgul, so I think it is time for us to return to Nona by the creature, and that's what we'll do in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.